And welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore for our Season 8 visit. Great to be back here in Singapore once more. We're deep inside Group D right now with just 2 matches to go, which means it's time to try and find our last qualifier for the quarterfinals. Before we get into that, though, let's check out the bracket and show you exactly where we are right now. Saw a fantastic upper bracket final just now with Hack winning the first game, but Hydra showing that CJ Entus really are in good form this week, winning 2-1 to become the 3rd member of the CJ Entus crew to make it through to the quarterfinals. On the bottom half, Hack now waits for Squirtle or Grubby, which is our next match. We have just 2 more matches to go for today. Tomorrow we'll see the quarterfinals, semis and grand final, where we'll crown our 2nd Singapore champion. Last year's champion Sting, of course, not here, which means the highest ranked player from last season is about to take the stage. First of all, though, let's introduce you to the 2 players. Our first player is a man who has a string of 2nd place finishes in StarCraft 2. He also has a bronze medal in the Intel Extreme Masters in the past from 2011. He is Korea's Squirtle. And he goes head-to-head with a fellow Protoss, a man that doesn't really need an introduction, but we're going to give him one anyway because he deserves it. He is a man who's had a bit of a love affair with Singapore, as we said earlier. 2nd place last year is still his best result in StarCraft 2. He's also a former champion in Warcraft 3 at the Intel Extreme Masters. Please make some noise for Grubby. And as these 2 fight for the last place in the quarterfinals, we'll hand you over to our commentary team for this one. Chaps, enjoy.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters in Singapore. I'm Maynard, and with me is Todd, our resident Protoss expert. And actually, you would have played a little bit with Grubby in the past. What about in StarCraft 2, though?
Does not go well for me either. He's one of those Protosses that I think I lose to the most when I meet him on ladder, and I think he has one of the best PvP in Europe. Let's just say it.
Yeah, and possibly one of the best PvPs in the world as well.
Yeah.
So that's my next point, is that he's quite good at this matchup. Moving into the series, he absolutely needs to be, because he's up against Squirtle. A lot of people said when they saw him in the open bracket that he could quite possibly take the whole thing.
Yeah, Squirtle, I mean, he does very good in every tournament he enters. Now he almost beat Hydra, and by that I mean that in that 3rd game there was a moment where I thought he was in a good position. In the end, he didn't make it, and now he's definitely gunning for that last qualifying slot in this tournament into the top 8.
That's right. Both players are going to get their vetoes on here. Obviously, it's a mirror matchup, so it's not that big of a deal, just more of a player preference.
Look at Graham microing that coin. Great coin trick, Graham.
Sick coin micro here by our ESL admin.
The map veto here, it really comes down to personal preference a lot of the time, and by that I mean, depending on the style you like to play, you're going to veto different maps. If you like to go for quick expansion maps, you're going to pick either a very small map where your natural is close to your main, say for example Belcher, Vestige, Yonsu, or even a 4-players map. A lot of the time I feel like in this high-level Protoss versus Protoss, we are going to see those 4-player maps removed, because there is a little bit of randomness to it. You don't know where your opponent spawns, and players are going to be trying to trick each other a lot, and actually we have 2-players map. Two players map removed here at first, Derelict Watcher and Yonsu. Okay. This is interesting. Let's see how this develops.
Okay,
Whirlwind was removed as well here by Squirtle. I know he's a big fan of Oracles. Proxied somewhere on the map on the Whirlwind, at least versus Terran. But now versus Protoss doesn't look like he wants to try that on Whirlwind here today. And Polar Knight here removed by Grubby. As I said before, this is not a good map to play on. I think as Protoss, at least versus Zerg and Terran versus Protoss versus Protoss, it might be okay, but it might be one of his vetoes in ladder, which would be why he vetoes it here, because he hasn't been playing it at all.
Yeah, we got the handshake there from both players. So we got 2 1v1 maps and one 4-player map there left in the pool. So the players will get into their booths and begin the series post-haste. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about Grubby now. He's tried. He's a little bit unpredictable. He can pull out anything.
Yeah.
And this is one of those matchups. PvP.
That's my line, man.
Well, that's right.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Sorry. In PvP, there's actually a lot of tricks to the book that you can do in this matchup. It's not just, you know, back in Wings of Liberty, you know, there was that sort of that you only go one base versus one base, but that's not the case anymore. There's so much you can do. There's DT openings, Blink Stalker openings, Oracle openings, just straight up just normal Stargate openings.
Yeah. And you know, Squirtle has been doing well with Oracle pretty much every Protoss season. Lately, even in Protoss versus Protoss, it's proven to be one of the best opener. The Stargate is that much stronger than before, just because of the Oracle speed. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see a whole bunch of Stargates being made here. Squirtle is at a great showing so far in this tournament already in Protoss versus Protoss. He was able to beat Feast 2-0 and Avenge as well with 2-0. And mixing it up a lot in these games. He went for some crazy proxy on Frost versus Feast with the Stargates and the quick Oracle. So expect fireworks here. I don't think any of these players goes for a quick expansion or almost ever. It really comes down to what maps are going to be played, and I think we're going to have action-packed games and possibly very quick games as well. I mean, PvP has proven to be a little bit volatile, maybe, I guess you could say.
Yeah, quite volatile. It's like there's a Swiss Army knife of possibilities when you get into this matchup. They could really pull anything, and that's why we were saying that it's important to have 1v1 maps, because both players want to know what their opponent is up to as soon as possible, because you have to either dictate the flow or react to what your opponent's doing. It's kind of like a very reactionary sort of matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, both of these players, they are players that prepare build orders, depending on map and opponent, very, very well. But I feel like at that little game here, even though there is going to be a bit of randomness, obviously, to what happens, I feel like Grubby might be a little bit better than Squirtle at this, in PvP at least.
Yeah, he's a random guy.
Yeah, Grubby, he likes to make builds in PvP that will give him an 80% chance to get some kind of build order advantage, and the rest, the 20% of the rest of time, he's going to be maybe a bit of a disadvantage, but not completely dead against another build. So I really respect somebody who works hard to try and get an edge this way. Whereas Squirtle is more like somebody who's obviously going to try to get some kind of lead as well and edge early on. But his build orders, they don't really feel villain dependent, in the sense that he doesn't seem to go for build orders depending on his opponent, just more on the matchup he's playing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, with PvT, we saw that Grubby can pull out random stuff like we haven't seen and probably won't see for the rest of this tournament. That proxy Twilight Council to try and hide Blink away from Hack there, in a really odd proxy location as well. Because who scouts that third? Well, I mean, apparently Hack does. But you know, he's got a tendency to hide buildings. He's got a tendency to be a little bit crazy.
Yes. Grubby, he was one of the first players that I saw go for a quick sentry just to scout with the hallucination. And I think that makes him very smart. Even that, I think he will still be very smart.
He is very smart and handsome. In the meantime, in the top left here from LGIN, this is Squirtle. One of the, well, definitely one of the best Protoss here in this tournament. And the other Protoss here from Team Grubby, it's Grubby.
Both of these players here are fighting for their life in the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore.
Yeah,
curious to see how they open. As I said, Stargate, a very good opener, but then again, that makes Blink Stalker that much stronger.
Yeah, such a tough group for both these players. It's just really odd to see Grubby and Squirtle in the losers match of their group. You know, it's.
Yeah, I mean, Hydra is an absolute beast, and Hack, he was able to be Squirtle, which I didn't expect, and he put up one hell of a fight versus Hydra as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an odd series, but he, you know, he put up a bit of a fight there.
More than a bit of a fight. Yeah. All right, both players should go for the standard Gateway 13. I don't think I've ever seen a Protoss. Oh, Grubby going for a bit of a duck probe here, as I like to call it. This is actually really hard to do.
Well, it's really hard to get your probe stuck in that little spot there.
Yeah, and like push it out the way he did now. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they both go for two assimilators. Can't remember the last time I saw a Protoss opening with just one of those and going for a pressure. Doesn't happen very often.
And it's looking like, well, okay, there's that second gas there from Grubby. It was a little bit later. Did scout the main for proxy, for anything, for a probe or anything like that. In, well, you know, there are Protosses that have definitely lost to gateways in their main.
Squirtle is definitely not the guy to do this kind of in-base proxy. I mean, this is one of the biggest gambles you could ever go for, because if it's scouted, it's almost automatically a loss. So here, no, there is indeed not going to be a proxy in there, but Squirtle scouted for it himself. And this is a complete mirror match so far. 2+2 for Squirtle on the gases, but 3+3 for Grubby. This is the only difference that has happened so far in this game. And both players, they're going to scout about the same time.
Yeah,
and I like
different sides of the map.
That second pylon is pretty cool here by Grubby. He's going to be able to build a lot behind his middle line. Second gateway goes down here by Squirtle. This is actually similar to my build, except I don't usually scout with this. If you go for double gateways like this, you can go for 3 Stalker pressure, 3 Stalker defensive, or even a Sentry first and then 2 Stalkers, in which case, if you chrono boost out the Sentry or not, you're going to get the Sentry very quickly regardless. He's going to build up an energy, and then you can scout with Hallucination. And very quick target here made by Grubby. He didn't start Mothership Core, he didn't start a Stalker. This is going to be spotted here.
Yeah, spotted here. So both players got a pretty good idea what each player is doing, and Grubby won't be able to surprise Squirtle with an Oracle, unfortunately, for Grubby fans. He's going to be pushed back. Well, we'll see. The Oracle is still pretty good. Might be able to get some damage done anyway.
I mean, even if you're not able to get in there and do damage with it.
Squirtle did the same thing.
The only direct counter to this, I was going to say, is Phoenixes.
Yeah.
His Squirtle goes for a blink here. Essentially, he's going to take 170 seconds to research it. He needs to get the Twilight Council. He needs to get enough Stalkers to one-shot the Oracle. It's going to take forever. Whereas now, he gets his own Stargates. He starts the Phoenix production ASAP, and he's going to be in a great position. And Grubby, seeing the Stargate here of Squirtle, I definitely would like to see Phoenixes being made out of him. And I mean, he's already realized this.
He's making a Phoenix.
His plan all along might have been to go for Phoenixes. Oh, and Squirtle, he cancelled, and he goes for a Twilight. This is really cool what we're seeing. Those mind games here, they decide a lot of what is going to happen later on. Grubby has to be careful. It's going to be supply block. Okay, he started pylon already.
And the Phoenix out of position a little bit, so this Mothership Core is going to get a probe or 2.
Squirtle is going to be supply blocked. He starts a pylon on the bottom left-hand side of the map. But I mean, this is going to come out really late.
Grubby pulling a lot of probes away from the mineral line here. He's losing a couple. Some lost mining time as well. Will he get the Mothership Core? It looks like he will. He's got enough. Oh, there's the recall there. And it does escape before he gets destroyed. Proxy pylon set here, but Grubby finds it with his Zealot. So that pylon will be taken out there by Grubby.
Yeah, nicely done here. Nice game sense. He thought there was a possibility this could be there, so he checked for it. Grubby going for this build, I have to think, was he trying to counter? This is a bit of a Baby Knight kind of build, where he gets a lot of Phoenixes early on, and if you do what everybody's been doing recently against this, you're going to have an Oracle against Phoenixes. You're not going to do well. So now the Phoenixes, they can still fly around. They can keep Squirtle hostage, force him to stay into his own base. Grubby, you saw he flew around. He wanted to see if there was a Dark Shrine, if he needed to get detection. Now he saw the Twilight Council researching Blink. He knows exactly what he's up against. From there, he can decide exactly what he wants to go for. He adds 2 extra gateways and goes for a Robo. This is the most standard response here against what he's facing.
He picked up the probe just before it made the natural as well. Just a slight delay on that expand there. Nice little grab for Grubby. Is he going to take a Nexus of his own soon? He's got 4
Squirtle's still
out.
Trying for this. And I like the choice of Grubby not to rush for the Nexus here. He's still making a bunch of probes. He has to be careful. He's still making a ton of probes. You know, I don't think you should particularly throw down the Nexus unless you want to go for a super fast expansion before you have at least 20 probes on the minerals in your main. Now he has 22. He should definitely be throwing that down and start looking to basically make enough units to not die, which is a lot of Blink Stalkers out of Squirtle.
So we'll probably be seeing an Immortal pretty quickly here from Grubby, because he knows that he has to deal with these Stalker numbers. The Phoenixes are not going to cut the mustard.
Oh, they can get some of these probes. Blink finished already.
Yeah, Blink is done for Squirtle. He's saving it for the retreat there. Does pick up 1 Phoenix. The Phoenixes have gotten a few probe kills in this game so far. 6 workers killed by these Phoenixes in this game.
But I have to say, Grubby, he's got a quite nice lead from this. Now he's not only keeping Squirtle hostage in his base, he also got a nice worker lead with 30 probes to 25. And although his Nexus is a little bit late compared to Squirtle's, he's going to be quite all right as soon as he starts transferring probes, which is actually going to be now in advance. He wants to do some long-distance mining.
Oh, probably diving a little bit too deep with these Phoenixes here. He does pick up the Mothership Core at the cost of one of his own Phoenixes. So gets shooed away there.
Not sure that was worth it, but I guess killing the Mothership Core is pretty important. This is definitely going to put Squirtle in a defensive posture even more so than before, because if there was an Oracle on the map and you want to move out, you need to keep your Mothership core back at home to use the photon overcharge against it. And now he doesn't have one. So that will mean he has to keep Stalkers back at home to defend against it, and he cannot move out. If your opponent cannot move out and you know it, you're going to be pretty happy about it. You know you're at peace for some time, and from there, you can choose what you want to do. Play greedy, make some probes, go for some tech, and that's exactly what Grubby is going to do. He throws down the Forge. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Twilight follow this, although he could go for the Robo Bay as well if he wanted to.
Yeah, the world is his oyster right now. He's really doing very, very well against Squirtle. Look at Squirtle dropping 3 more gateways, Todd.
He's going to be very aggressive here. I think he's looking to reach a critical mass of Stalkers, add some Zealots, and go for some kind of huge attack.
He's got a lot of sentries in the main, in the middle line as well.
Yeah. So I think on this map, this can be very dangerous. If you don't have Colossus, if you don't have Archons, and you get force fielded off in your natural, your Nexus is going to get sniped and you're going to die. Grubby here going for the Twilight Council. I do think he's going to want to go for the Templar Archive. Now he's going to be saturating the gases at his expansion. And I like the way he's played this so far. He's on
pretty solid. Still with a bit of a lead there. Oh! Nearly losing another Phoenixes from those Blink Stalkers. The hallucinated one does get in here and sees the gateway count. Squirtle's got a proxy pylon there outside of, well, he sees no third from Grubby. So what is Squirtle's choice here?
I think he's definitely going to be going for timing here, or at least look to apply some pressure here very soon, but he's still making a ton of probes, so he could just be going for a third base.
Grubby's moving out.
Yeah, and also Squirtle at this point, he's not saturating his bases very well. He's got 17 mineral probes in his main, 12 in his natural. He's not balanced this very, very well. Grubby, he spotted all the gateways that he's up against. He actually has an observer in Squirtle's main. Grubby sees everything right now, even sees the hallucinated Colossus. He's probably laughing about it. And at this point, Grubby, he's done a very good job of chrono boosting out Immortals, which are going to be great against those Blink Stalkers.
They're going to be plus Immortals too.
Yeah, he just has to add Archons and Charge Loss to his composition, and he's going to be in great shape. He's getting charged, but he doesn't go for the Templar Archive. He goes for Dark Shrine, and the hallucination misses it. This is big here.
Oh, wow. He could definitely pull a fast one here on Squirtle's expansions. Could potentially get a lot of kills there.
First Observer is going to start now for Squirtle, but can he have this well placed enough to be able to detect the Dark Templars? Because remember, Grubby could also go for a Warp Prism and drop one of those in the main. Grubby, he actually already had the Templar Archives. He chose to go for the Dark Shrine anyway, which is a little bit weird. I guess you can cancel it if it gets scouted, and he was maybe hoping this does not get scouted. And the position is funny too, because it's next to 2 pylons. It can kind of pass as a pylon if you scout for it before it's finished. Oh, those 2 hallucinated Phoenixes.
Yeah, these ones are going to spot the rest, I think. They're coming in through. They just taking their vision.
They're not.
Oh, they don't see the Dark Shrine again.
And the Warp Prism is getting in a position to send some Dark Templars into the main, into the natural at the same time. We have only 1 observer out for Squirtle right now. He's not even getting a second one. He's getting a Warp Prism behind it, so he's going to suffer damage here. This could economic damage, and this could be critical.
Yeah, this could be actually huge. He might go straight for the Republic facility. There's some Templar here to snipe
This is so smart. Grubby brought the 2 Phoenixes and an Observer as well. He's going to try to stab the Observer of his opponent, in which case he would have no detection.
And he gets the Observer. The Observer's down. No detection. The Republic facility is down as well. Grubby's Dark Templar has free reign in the main of Squirtle. And he has the Archon of Squirtle is back here. He's desperately trying to get some defense here against the Dark Templar. Nice force fields from Squirtle. These 3 DTs of Grubby, what does he do about them, Todd?
Oh, he needs to force field those DTs off until he can reach the cannon. Those look like one of the cannon will finish at the expansion. Grubby not targeting him down. Big mistake here. And Squirtle was actually on tilt here for a second. He attacked his own assimilator. But it does look like Squirtle will hold from now. Having lost this Robo, he's still going to suffer damage. In the meantime, Grubby got his own third base. He's going to be able to saturate it quite comfortably. He's still got a worker lead, and I love this initiative by Grubby. He's trying to pull really far ahead right now.
Grubby's still got a DT in the main. He killed the Cybernetics core. He's just doing a little bit more damage. He's going to get another cannon here on the side. You know, he can get the pile on the gateway. He can do more probe damage.
He could go for the Templar Archive, but he goes for the cannon. Oh, he was not looking. He's going to lose that 1 Zealot over here.
That's a shame.
And look, he's warping in Zealots on the right-hand side. Oh, if he gets a snipe on that cannon on the third base, he could send some Dark Templars in to do even more damage.
There's only 1 cannon here.
Squirtle finished a new Robo. He has to remake his Cybernetics core, so he's getting an Observer straight away. And oh, I love this move here by Grubby, sniping the cannon.
That's right, he's going to get some probe kills as well that were transferred over, and they're all pulled out of the third. Meanwhile, the DT coming in as well. He's going to try maybe focus on the Nexus. Oh, he's in the main with the Dark Templar again, and some Zealots walked in. Squirtle pulling back from all 3 bases, and the main force of Grubby heading through the middle as well towards the natural.
Look at the amount of gateways in Grubby's main. His macro is beautiful behind this. He's got enough gateways to go for a follow-up attack and finish the game, I think, if he wants to. He's got a ton of immortals as well.
Squirtle has 6 gateways, Grubby has 10. He's ready to end this game right here, right now. Can he take a lead in the series?
He has to be careful. He has to be careful because Squirtle is not out of this just yet. He has quite an army himself. And Grubby started +3 attack upgrades. Squirtle's +2 is about to finish. Grubby needs to regroup. He has to be careful. All this aggression and Squirtle falling behind, this might trigger an attack out of him.
Oh, Squirtle and Grubby's army is going to meet here just outside the third. They're pulling back a little bit. Archons turn around, the Immortals turn around, take a nice big shot off here.
There's just not enough for Squirtle. He needs to regroup with some reinforcements here. He's going to try to get as many units out as possible, and Grubby's going to go for a killing blow here.
He is indeed. Meanwhile, dropping in the main. Grubby going to attack towards the fourth. And he's picking up the Templar. Templar is sniped here. One less Archon for Squirtle. And in he goes. Grubby with an 82 over 67 supply lead. Please, for the love of God. There we go. All right. Time warp going down. This is a Grubby time warp there. Squirtle is starting to try and hold here, but Grubby, these force fields are useless as Archons. The army supply dipping for Squirtle. Grubby still pushing through. The Immortals decimating the Stalkers. The Archons doing the rest. This is got to be it for Squirtle. Grubby, 116, 112, everything. GG! Grubby winning game number 1.
Wow, that was very impressive here, I have to say.
I'm a little bit flabbergasted.
Yeah, I know I said he's really good in PvP, but this was like very close to perfect here play by Grubby again. The Dark Templars, I was very skeptical. Then he notices that basically Squirtle does not see the Dark Shrine. He goes for the Warp Prism at the exact right time. It's actually pretty hard to time, believe it or not. You need to get the Warp Prism in advance, have it in position, warp in the Dark Templars as soon as you have the Dark Shrine, drop them in the main. He was macroing his Dark Templars right everywhere at first, then suddenly it looked like Squirtle was going to hold comfortably because he got cannons up everywhere. But Grubby's multitask, he sent in units everywhere. He kept up with his macro in the meantime, and a beautiful play here, able to secure this map on Belcher Vestige.
Oh, wow. And the crowd favorite takes the first map of the series. Squirtle looking to tie it up. He's still an amazingly strong Protoss. Definitely could come back here in 2-1. Grubby, of course, could tie this off as well. This is the best, you know, statistical matchup for both these players. So,
and you know, looking at Grubby's first match, you had to wonder: is he having a bad day? He's staring his worst matchup. Is something wrong? Because he didn't look like he was playing that well, to be honest. I mean, I know Hack is a fantastic player, and he was forcing mistakes out of Grubby, but for a moment it looked like Grubby was not doing good in general. And then he has to go up against a guy like Squirtle, and you have to ask yourself, how is he going to do? And he showed us here how he's going to do in this series. He played, I was going to say perfect again, but
close to
this
perfect.
is as close to perfect as you're going to get.
Yes.
Everything was right, every decision from the start. And I mean, I thought at first that maybe having his target spotted was not going to be good, because then if you go for the Oracle, your opponent already knows he's in position and all that. But going for the Phoenixes, this build looks so strong. This is something that Baby Knight has been doing a lot. You get a bunch of Phoenixes, you fly into your opponent's base with the first one or the first two ones, you know exactly what you're up against. If you need to get a Dark Templar, I actually think there was a time where if you went Stargate and scouted Dark Templar tech with your first Phoenix, you would have been pretty unhappy. But I think that nowadays, you will be happy. Because imagine, you make two Phoenixes, you get an Oracle, you have Revelation. You just pick up those Dark Templars and crush them.
I actually thought the Dark Templars was a really odd decision from Grubby. I was questioning it because he already had a Twilight Council, Templar Archives.
He placed it so well between two pylons too. If you scouted this with a hallucination, you would not necessarily recognize that this is a Dark Shrine. I have to say it was still a little bit funky and suspicious, but nicely placed. Squirtle barely misses the Dark Shrine. He's not ready for this when it comes. He has only one observer. And the move with the Phoenixes, that was absolute genius. I don't think many people would have dared try this or even thought of it. And Grubby here, he snipes the observer, and then he ends up doing a ton of damage with the Dark Templars while securing himself a third, mining from the gases there. Great play here.
Yeah, even though it was odd, the DT was actually the unit that definitely tipped it heavily into his favor. Like, he was slightly ahead, then the DTs got into the main, and the natural, they split off, and then just started wailing on things. They killed his cybernetics core, they killed his, you know, they made him pull workers,
which sounds
they killed his robotics facility.
You don't usually see sniped cybernetics core in PvP, but for once it happens.
Yeah, well, that Dark Templar was sort of on auto move in the main there. It was just a, you know, attack moved into a cannon in the end, but yeah. Not sure if it was deliberate in the end, but that Dark Templar, definitely the MVP unit of the day for Grubby here. So getting into Frost, going to have a 4-player map here for the second match between these two players.
Frost, interesting. Remember what Squirtle did on that map versus Fizz, the proxy Stargates?
It's a good map for it. You got to know where your opponent is, though.
But no, actually, he placed it in a position where it will almost never get spotted and be good against every position. But it's better against some other than not.
All right, let's introduce these players. Currently down 1 map from IEM, the Korean Protoss, Squirtle. And in the top right, the Dutch Protoss. Give it up for Grubby. All right, this guy.
Grubby pulling his baby knight card out of his pocket in the first game. Let's see if he goes for something similar again. That was very convincing, I have to say. But in PvP, it's always that one question. Do you go for the same thing because it worked, or do you try something new? Because it's a bit of rock, paper, scissors-ish, as you know. And if you get completely countered, it's going to be hard to react. So in the first game, Grubby, when he saw the Stargate, I guess he was pretty happy because his target was much earlier than Squirtle's. And he probably had mind more gas too. Remember, he puts 3+3 very early on. So he doesn't mind facing a Stargate. He's going to be able to keep up Phoenix-wise. And I don't think he minds playing Phoenix versus Phoenix. Whereas
No,
Squirtle,
well,
he adapted as he should have with the Twilight and all that.
remember how his Phoenix versus Phoenix went in that Game 5 against MC, 2012 Singapore? Do you remember that game? It was on Metropolis, and it was just basically a giant Phoenix Cloud versus another Phoenix Cloud.
That's usually how it goes. That's why I try to erase those from my memory.
Well, that map is long gone, so, you know.
It's like 30 minutes of waiting, then 5 seconds fights. Not even.
With Grubby ending up on top, of course, if memory serves.
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
Yeah,
Thanks for the flashback.
that's all right. My pleasure.
Double gas going down for both of these players. No quick and early scouts. This is actually one of the better maps to go for an expansion. Your natural is so close to your main, you have a very small ramp to defend into your main. And even at your natural, just 3 force fields can trap a lot of units. So maybe, if there was a map where somebody would try a quick expansion, it would definitely could be this one.
Both players pretty mirrored so far, just doing the exact same thing. Grubby slightly ahead with his probe and cyber core.
Nice. Some mineral tricks, maybe just a little bit better. Can help sometimes. And
Well,
Squirtle's getting a Zealot. Is he going to cancel? Oh, did he just cancel and restart it? This might mean he wants to go for a Nexus. Let's see. He started his Zealot quite late after his cybernetics core finished, which means usually you always want your Zealot to line up well with your cybernetics core. So let's see.
Mothership core on the way for Grubby. Yeah, he cancels. Sentries on the way for both players. Very already stock standard PvP openings.
Squirtle's going to expand. Sorry.
No, go for it.
I
You
think
are the
both
PvP
players
boss.
are going to expand on this map.
Oh.
Sentry plus Mothership Core is going to, on just one gateway, is going to mean quick Nexus almost all the time, and I don't think it's going to be any different here.
And look at the pylon for Squirtle here, you know, just sort of floating over to the side of that base. What is it? So this will be for him to spot Mothership Core if that floats in or anything like that.
Squirtle is actually moving out with his Mothership Core and going for a scout. So is Grubby.
Yeah.
This is interesting, and this is going to be better for Grubby, obviously, because he's going to find Squirtle first, and he might be able to even inflict some kind of damage. There is only one sentry out right now for his opponent. Both players go for a target. Grubby's target is much earlier, again.
Yeah, so there's mineral tricks actually, you know, when you're this level of player, the mineral tricks actually matter when you're just slightly ahead.
Both players are going to be sticking out a second sentry. This is an absolute mirror. Look at the production tab.
Yeah, they're just doing the exact same build. Both players doing the exact same build. And IEM Squirtle getting his probe up here has finally scouted Grubby.
Okay, Grubby did not see that Squirtle is on the top left-hand side. He's actually the only one scouting right now with the one probe. But he's going to have 100 energy momentarily on one of his sentry, on his first sentry, but so is Squirtle. Let's see if they go for an hallucination, and if yes, which one, Oracle or Phoenix?
Phoenix is out for Grubby, sending that directly to the left here. And Squirtle pulling the Mothership Core back. It's actually kind of weird when we saw that game. We were almost certain that Grubby was going to scout him first, but he actually just still doesn't know where he is. Will in a second, though.
And both players setting on 2 extra gateways, playing it quite safe. Both players going for an Oracle. Grubby's is still earlier. I like Grubby's position, but this is still a very mirror matchup. Everything has been the same from both sides. And Squirtle's finally going to scout Grubby. He's going to see the Oracle, actually.
The Oracle comes out. Looks like Squirtle spotted it as well.
And these Oracles, they're going to play hide and seek at this point. They're going to try to get into the opponent's base from a strange direction. Oh, the Oracle in the middle is spotted by the probe. He's going to take it out in anger. And Squirtle is already taking one of the gases at his expansion. He realized that this is Stargate versus Stargate, and he's going to need a lot of Phoenixes and a lot of gas to be able to pull it off.
Both players just have the exact same infrastructure, exact same unit choices at the exact same time.
Oh, nicely done. Grubby forces the photon overcharge on the natural of Squirtle and then gets out of here, only losing the shield, but the Phoenix is going to have to say something about this.
Yeah, the Phoenix will be able to finish this Oracle off, and down it goes.
And Squirtle actually kept his Oracle alive. He kept it in his base here. Interesting choice. Grubby is still, oh, okay, I was going to say, he's still undertaking the gases at his expansion, but he's going to fix that immediately. Squirtle already mining from the third gas. Do they go for a second Stargate? Are we going to see a remake of Grubby versus MC?
I don't think so. I think it's kind of out of fashion a little bit in PvP from what I've seen. But that said, though, Grubby's still pumping out Phoenixes, so it might be Phoenix versus something.
Oh,
actually, Squirtle is dropping a second Stargate.
Did you see what Grubby did? He used the hallucination here to tank some damage as a Phoenix. Again, using some brilliant move. The second Stargate goes down for Squirtle. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh. We've got an Oracle here, does some damage, but the photon overcharge does go down there. Actually, Workers Guild in Grubby's advantage so far.
And worker count 34 for Squirtle, 38 for Grubby. He's playing so well so far in this series, and he does not plan on stopping anytime soon. Second Stargate goes down by Grubby.
Oh my God.
It's happening.
You're right, man. I laughed at you. This is what I get. Gonna be Phoenix versus Phoenix Wars all day long.
Oh wow, this is... I'm really surprised. I really thought there was a chance one of them at least will go for a Twilight Council and some kind of transition, but no. Grubby, he rises to the challenge here. He wants to try and outdo his opponent in a complete mirror match. Phoenixes versus Phoenixes.
Yeah, his second Stargate a little bit later though, so Squirtle's got that production advantage a little bit with his Phoenixes.
Grubby has been the one with the initiative for the most part so far in this series, but he has to be careful. If he gets a little bit too frisky here, he's going to be caught out of position. There is actually one more Phoenix, and by that time, you know, real one. Hard by Squirtle.
Miscontrol here from Grubby getting caught out. He's losing two Phoenixes. He's losing another Phoenixes. Actually, Grubby completely out of Phoenixes now. He's chrono boosting his Stargates back at home, but Squirtle, he's picked them up.
And Squirtle is gonna go for basically for it now. He's chrono boosting out a lot of Phoenixes. Grubby is the one getting his fleet beacon, but I mean, if you have 4 Phoenixes against 10, it's not gonna help, even if you have range. So he has to use the photon overcharge domain, which means he's not going to have it in the expansion. He needs to whop in Stalkers here in support. All those Phoenixes of Squirtle.
He has 2, and he has some sentries as well. With 2 Phoenixes, should be enough to deflect, reflect Squirtle, I think.
And whoa, Grubby drops down the third Nexus here. I think he might realize he's the only one who's a fleet beacon. If he gets range, he's going to be quite all right. Actually, even with a small amount of Phoenix against a bigger one. Whereas Squirtle, he's playing more defensively. He's getting the Forge, he's making a bunch of probes. He's not taking a very aggressive third base at this point.
Yes, he's getting the Onion Pulse Crystals, however it's pronounced. I don't speak Protoss. The
photon overcharge not going to last much longer. It expires in the main. Squirtle is going to go for some kind of aggression here. Grubby drops down the few additional gateways.
There's some Phoenixes and some ground support from Grubby for these Phoenixes in the main.
He can't lose his Phoenixes before the range finishes.
He's losing them as they come out the Stargate there. Squirtle managed to pick up some fresh ones. Grubby's Mothership Core in a bit of danger heading into the natural here. They are very hurt Phoenixes, but Squirtle's making them 2 at a time, getting a Twilight Council and his own fleet beacon as well.
I don't understand why Squirtle is pulling back. He had way more Phoenixes at this point, and surely those 2 Stalkers plus those 2 Sentries would not have changed much if he had gone in there and sniped all of this. Surely he has seen the fleet beacon, so he should know about when the speed will finish. He's actually going to be in trouble.
Squirtle knows about the third as well.
Yeah, if Grubby pushes across the map, man, can you believe how Grubby's playing this? In the way that basically he was behind, and his reaction was to drop down an additional Nexus. Now he defended well enough to keep his Phoenixes alive. He's going to find himself with range against no range. He does not know about this. If he knew, he would move across the map and try and deal some damage on the Phoenixes.
Completely naked third here for Grubby, and that's a full energy Oracle, but the Phoenixes will intercept.
Yeah, might be full energy, not going to help against these many Phoenixes at this point. And Grubby goes for his own Forge, throwing down at least 1 cannon in each base makes sure you don't die to Dark Templars, because even though he can get Oracles, if Dark Templars walked into his mineral lines, they would cause quite a mess. And he actually researches ground weapons.
Yeah, ground weapons and air weapons. So.
Yeah, I mean, air weapons makes sense because he's on Phoenixes, but researching ground weapons, even though he hasn't made any gateway units except for 2 Stalkers and Sentries. Actually, he's added a few Stalkers already. I guess Grubby wants to transition already, possibly into Zealot Archons with Templars in support for feedback against
with the Twilight Council, I think he might be right here.
But
Going
could
down
be
to
a
the
lot
Grubby.
of Blink Stalkers as well, but
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
true.
so.
Well, I mean, the thing is also as well, even though Grubby doesn't have the Phoenix count here, he's sort of giving himself insurance that his smaller army will be a little bit more powerful because Squirtle's not getting that upgrade. Squirtle's actually getting a Templar Archive, so looking like he might want to transition as well.
Let's see, Squirtle has one of his pylons here found and killed. This is actually not well hidden, to say the least. It's like right in the middle of the map.
It's like, hey, here's a pylon, bro. What are you going to do about it?
Kill it. Templar Archives on the way for both players. Squirtle's is a little bit earlier. The unit count, 17 Phoenixes for Squirtle, 13 for Grubby. Both of them have range, so Grubby has to be very careful with this. I don't think Squirtle realized the Phoenix lead he has, otherwise he would just fly into the main, kill every probe, and then kill all those Phoenixes of Grubby.
Phoenixes of Grubby do have +1 now, though. That's, I mean, 17 versus 13, though, is a pretty huge difference. It looks like Grubby's got a couple Zealots just outside the third of Squirtle, going in for a bit of a run by. We can see how much they can get done here.
Probably not much as
No,
the units
Cannon's
are
gotta
nearby.
finish.
Oh, the Phoenixes, they were going to fly away, but Squirtle sees it with his Eye of the Tiger or Eye of Sauron, depending on which Carmack prefers.
Damn, they are some dead Zealots. We got some, oh god, so many Phoenixes from both players.
Yeah.
Archon's being warped by Grubby, though, and Archons are a very good response to this.
Yeah, both players have to transition into Zealot Archon here. You know why? Because if you have 3 Archons and your opponent has this many Phoenixes, they're gonna melt. And everything else is as well. Squirtle is invested more into his Phoenixes than Grubby, and he didn't really take any advantage out of it. At this point, he's still 17 Phoenixes to 14, and Grubby having way more. Actually, no, he's not on more Zealots. Squirtle is on more Zealots, but Grubby has a few more Stalkers, and he has 72 probes against 70. I do think that if Grubby does a little bit more of a gateway explosion, we say at least. Oh, but he already did actually. He's up to 10 gateways. I think if he goes for an attack now, he's gonna do very well because Squirtle, he added his gateways a little bit late. Grubby is on 10 gateways. Squirtle is going up to. Actually 11, so if he's able to catch up, those Phoenixes!
The Phoenixes of Squirtle are decimating the air army of Grubby here. That was so one-sided.
Huge mistake here by Grubby, I feel, but then again, he did trade a minimum, and there are not that many Phoenixes here out by Squirtle. Surely there is enough to do a ton of damage if he, for example, flies into the main of Grubby, but he cannot know how many Stalkers there are, if there is Blink, if there's going to be Templar, so he's not going to risk it for now. And Grubby going for the hidden expand here. I like this move.
In the meantime, he has to deal with a push here from Squirtle. Grubby has actually the Archon advantage, but he's going to need to pick this engagement right. He's lost all his Phoenixes. Archons work just as well against Mutas as they do against Phoenixes. Actually, the Phoenixes Squirtle picking up some probes. In the meantime, his army just posturing for that big push on the ground.
And a nice trade here by Squirtle, killing a few probes. He's finally got his supply leads.
Yeah, pretty healthy one too.
Yeah.
His army supply, 98 over the 80 of Grubby. Worker supply also with an advantage, 73 versus 69.
He's doing a bit of harass here with Zealots. I think he'd better keep those Zealots alive to go for a timing later, because essentially now he just sacrificed them for nothing. Oh, those Phoenixes!
Yeah,
they're gonna try to get them
these Archons catching a couple.
They slapped them to death, man.
Yeah, man. Splash damage. Splash slap.
I'm surprised Squirtle never flies into the main of Grubby, but I think Grubby's had enough. He realized that he's falling behind and he might want to go for an attack here. He sent some Zealot into the third base of Squirtle, but Squirtle reacted very quickly. Nice time warp!
Yeah, nice time warp here. Squirtle with a bigger army by the looks of it. Archons catching the Phoenixes in the back, but it's not really about the Phoenixes anymore. It's about the charge lots of the Archons, and it looks like Squirtle actually has a bit of an advantage. Grubby with an incredible bank here.
Yeah, he's going to be pulling back now. I think he realized that there is way more for his opponent. And okay, Squirtle is on 2 fortress. He started 3-1. Grubby is on 2-0, just like his opponent, but he's going to fall some upgrades behind if he just keep like this. Okay, he actually starts the... actually, he started his own +3. How did I not notice that? Storm started for Grubby, and this is a very smart move. Look at how much gas he has. Grubby has not been making any Stalkers. So he's essentially, he's banked up so much gas. If he goes for a timing with a whole bunch of storms, say 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, he's going to have an opportunity to do a ton of damage. And those probes, oh my god, this is nightmare scenario here by Grubby.
This is horrible.
Squirtle was actually looking for this. This is very smart.
Yeah, and he's going to kill at least 1 billion probes here, no embellishment.
He did not just randomly find this. He knew there was a chance this could be there. And Squirtle's going to go for an attack on Grubby's third base.
He's going to get some Archons here. There's 3 morphing Archons, not enough for Grubby to hold.
Yeah, those were the... Grubby, you need to come back very quickly here. And there's a recall available. Oh, the Mothership Core. He's actually going to use the time warp. So Squirtle's gonna find himself stuck here, but is he happy with this situation? He has a huge army.
Oh, yeah.
And he cannot reinforce nearby. If Grubby is able to get a lot of units out here, he might be able to deal with this. Storm finished.
Here we go. Can Storm make the difference for Grubby? He is down significantly in supply. Squirtle reinforcing with some Archons. The Archon advantage heavily in Squirtle's favor. There's the charge shot. Storm's going down on absolutely everything. It's looking like it doesn't make a difference, though. Squirtle just has too much.
There is way too much. 86 army to play to 58 now in Squirtle's favor. He's just going to press forward. And, I mean, there's just way too much. He's 3-0 on upgrades already. He feels confident enough to throw down the Robo Bay behind this, which means you must really be confident, because a lot of the time you're going to die if you do this too early. And Squirtle's just going to press the matter. Grubby finds himself behind. What does he do? He drops down another Nexus. And this time I don't like it.
Yeah, it's an odd decision after you lose a massive engagement. Yeah, anyway. Squirtle is going to keep pressing the issue. This third is his attack round. He feels very, very confident here. Also running by with a bunch of Zealots and looking like Grubby may be able to hold, though, with these Zealots, this Archon and his Cannon helping him out.
Thanks to the Archon.
Yeah. God, the Archon's a good unit.
More Zealots are going to get a snipe on this base here. That's
free 400 minerals to the feed Squirtle Foundation.
And Grubby's going for his own run by at the top here, but I mean, Squirtle with a defensive warp, it should be okay. Oh, he's actually maxed out already, so he cannot warp.
Okay.
The Phoenixes, man.
So he's going to get a lot of probes here, but I don't know if he'll get as many as Squirtle got with his Phoenix run by.
Yeah. It's actually a mistake to kill probes at this point, because Squirtle, it means his army is going to get even bigger, and he's more well saturated across many bases.
Oh my god. Look at the Archon count here. 11 for Squirtle, only 6 for Grubby.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference here. He's going to be getting Colossi out as well. And
yeah,
big run by in Grubby's expansion. I would like to see a Dark Shrine here out of Grubby, just for defense purposes. Against those Zealot run by, it does great.
Yeah, well, you know, you're not gonna bring detection with your Zealots when you run by. So there we go. Zealot's doing a bit of damage in the main of Grubby here. Grubby will hold, but the big story is just the army of Grubby is not a match for Squirtles at this moment. Grubby needs to hold. He needs to get that. You know, he just needs to stay alive for the time being.
Ooh, Grubby's moving out. He's moving out with a lot of Templars. He's going to catch some of this army in the middle of the map.
Oh, it's all split to pieces. Squirtle's army looking like it just split up as he was moving across.
Oh, those Zealots, they're going to run right into this army here. Grubby can still do this, I believe. He's getting Colossi out himself now.
Yeah.
The Archon difference is so important here. 14-6 now. Squirtle is happy about losing all these Zealots. He replaced them with Archons, which are...
And Grubby's only Colossus getting wailed on there. Feedbacks do scare off the Phoenixes, though.
It did scare them off indeed, and Grubby's gonna have to go around not to get caught in the middle of the map. He needs to max out right now. Squirtle's almost maxed out. He's gonna have way more Archons and Colossi, which are gonna be great against anything that's on the ground. This is the perfect army.
And Squirtle's got a really good timing here because he has Thermal Lance and Grubby doesn't. He also has the Archon and the Colossus advantage, so there's no reason not to attack right now. He is 5 away from max. This might be it for the Dutch Protoss in this game number 2.
He needs to buy himself some time, but there's no way he can. Squirtle's gonna pick a good concave and go for it.
That's right, Thermal Lance still not done for Grubby. This third under siege, losing probes here, and losing probes may help Squirtle, but it's sure as hell not helping Grubby right now. The Archon's getting a massive concave, Storm's on everything, but the Archons laugh and clutch their sides as they just barrel through. They've got too much power. Power overwhelming, they're destroying Grubby right now. He's up 50 supply, this third is dead, and it's looking like Grubby is dead as well. I think that this game will be over. GG, Squirtle, tying the series 1 apiece.
Very well played here, obviously. That was not quite the game I expected. I mean, I called the fact that we could see Stargates in this series. I called the fact that we might see expansion on this map, but seeing both at the same time and from both players, that's not going to happen every day. And this time, this is what happened, and Squirtle got the better end of it in a complete mirror match. Grubby, maybe getting a little bit overeager. You know, when you're doing well in a series, your confidence is gonna start boosting over time, and if you get a little bit too eager, a little bit overconfident, you might make some of those very important mistakes that might cost you games. And here, this is what happened. Grubby moved too far out of the map with his Phoenixes. He was not looking at them. He lost a bunch of them. He fell behind, and then from there, Squirtle is in control. And when Squirtle is in control, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to come back, because this guy, he's...
Absolutely. Grubby no slouch himself. Obviously, he won that first game. Getting into game number 3, man. Grubby's going to need to really put his thinking hat on here.
I think he needs to take out the Baby Knight card again.
Yeah, it's a good card to have, I'll be honest. Wish I had it. I'd play more Protoss on ladder. So we're going to gear up to game number 3 here. No invite just yet, so...
Turtle looking a little bit worried here, maybe?
Yeah, there might actually be a reason for the delay, like he might actually...
I'm no face reader, but
yeah.
I'm sure he's worried. I mean, losing the first game here, he had to think to himself, is this it? Am I going to be eliminated here after losing 2 matches in those group stage? I'm better than that, surely.
I did hear it, you know, speaking out the face reading thing, I did hear that poker didn't go so well for you at the Home Story Cup.
I didn't play much, and they are noobs. It's hard to read noobs.
Well, that's why, you know, sometimes you lose to lower-end players because they do stuff that doesn't make sense. You're like, I don't understand why you're doing this right now.
I know all about it. And Maynard, Hakilon West is going to be our final map in this series.
Nice and close. It's got to probably...
I have to say, this is an extremely tricky map, and even more so than Whirlwinds, in my opinion.
And do you know who likes tricky maps and being tricky? That guy right there on the screen. He's looking a little bit frustrated, though. No doubt he would be after that second game. There were a couple blunders there.
If you lose Phoenix versus Phoenix, no matter what happens, you're going to be frustrated. You lose to the best player in the world, and not like, no, you didn't really have a chance to start with, but believe me, you're going to be frustrated because just one single mistake. And that mistake for Grubby was moving too far out and not looking at his Phoenixes. They were just there idle, waiting to die. Yeah, Squirtle, you have to react very quickly too. And Squirtle, he identified that he was 1 Phoenix ahead, just 1. Makes a world of difference. He went for the fight and he killed all of those Phoenixes of Grubby. And then from there, I mean, this only goes downhill. There are ways to come back. Grubby tried for some nice move. I like the quick third, but in the end, Squirtle just too solid.
Far too solid. Yeah, Grubby actually had a similar Phoenix count until that point where he just had, you know, even if you have minimap awareness, just the reaction time you need to escape a cloud of Phoenixes is, you know, it's microscopic. It's a split second. All right, loading up this map, Hakilon Waste. Here we go. The final match between these 2 players. Which one of them will continue on to face Hack and which one will be going home? Let's find out very shortly. And then right here from LGIN, this is Squirtle. And then it's up left. The Dutch Protoss, this is Grubby.
Grubby, the man, the legend.
Man, the legend.
Hoping to make it through this group stage here.
The Dutch Devil. Did you see that his hair has turned into horns? He's got horns on the front of his head.
It's actually probably, this is probably the best looking hair for like a messy hair. Because it is kind of messy.
He does that just got out of bed look, like it's on purpose, but it's not really.
Trying to play the bad boy, not fooling anyone.
I bet you when he's not wearing his team shirt, he's wearing a leather jacket with lots of studs in it, rides a motorbike around.
That's the dress style.
Ah, the Kraken, of course.
All right, we should be seeing Gateway 13 again and double gas being taken from both of these players as they did not go for any kind of proxy. And I was saying this map is tricky because you can hide a lot of buildings around the map, a lot of pylons that are going to be pretty hard to find for your opponent. You need to look in a lot of places. The thing is, if you spend your entire time looking for proxy pylons, you might be surprised by an attack because you can't be everywhere at once. And the watchtowers don't reveal all that much on this map. So you have to be very careful of everything. And that means anything could be dangerous and surprising here. And fortune going to be very important as well. You need to be on the good side of things.
Yeah, these watchtowers don't really matter until later in the game, I suppose, when you have something there to defend. Like, they're kind of poopy on this map. I mean, they're not as bad as Whirlwind's watchtower. That thing's just might as well not even be there.
Well, Whirlwind's watchtower is basically for everyone but Protoss, because we never have it. I feel discriminated when I play on the map.
Yeah, that's racist.jpg.
Anyway, Grubby went for a quick double gas. He throws down his cybernetic score. He's doing 3+3 already. Squirtle is doing 2+2. When did we see this? First game. And Grubby went for his targets and Phoenixes. Does he go for it again? We'll see, I guess. But this time, Baby Knight he's always in my mind. This time, Squirtle goes for a very, very quick scout again. If this is a quick target, he's going to be able to see it again. And Grubby goes for the Zealot again. So if he's doing the same thing, he's going to be spotted again. The first time, he did not really matter. He didn't seem to care. But this time, Squirtle will surely try something better than he did last time, or do better.
Well, he's got a little bit of a shorter rush distance to be able to have a look at his opponent. He actually had a pretty good scout on Belch Vestige as well in that first game, but still, Grubby managing to hide the tech that he needed to surprise Squirtle. So the PvP, you get a lot of wins from surprising your opponent.
Yeah.
Mothership Core on the way for Grubby.
Squirtle, I like how Squirtle is sticking around for as long as he can. He sees that, he saw the time at which the Stalker started. He sees that now the Mothership Core starts as well. He knows there's a lot at the ramp. He's not going to hang in there for too long either. And Grubby is sending in a probe in a weird position here. Is he going to proxy something? Okay, no, he starts targeting his main. Oh, he could still go for something like Stargate into Twilight.
He's going Twilight.
Oh, he's actually going Twilight.
Yeah, okay. Twilight first. Stargate on the way for Squirtle, though.
The Stargate is for Squirtle. Grubby, this probe out on the map is really suspicious. I think he might have wanted to go for a pylon and the Dark Shrine out on the map. In which case, you only see the Twilight in your opponent's base when you scout. He could even research Blink and still be making a Dark Shrine on the map. And then you don't get detection because you don't want to get something that wouldn't help. And you just died against Dark Templars. But now, Squirtle, he saw that probe out on the map, and this has to ring a few alarms. He has to be wondering. Oh, remember what I said, by the way. Squirtle is out on the map right now with his Mothership Core and Stalker. You have to be careful for attacks when you do this. And Oracle versus Dark Shrine. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I really feel like Stargate versus Dark Templar now. It's a lot better than it used to be because of the speed of that Oracle. It's like you're across the map, you know there's DT in your base. Yeah, by the time you come back, home. It doesn't kill anything.
That's right.
You just teleport back home.
Absolutely. So we've got some Stalkers out for Squirtle, and yeah, he's going to have that detection with the Revelation spell of the Oracle here. Grubby's Mothership Core getting in. He's going to be careful though, there's 3 Stalkers.
Oh, he's going to recall. He just wants to see what he's up against, but he might end up losing it.
Oh, very close. Couple shots away from losing that Mothership Core.
Yeah, he did see the Stargate though, and he's
Squirtle's going to see the Dark Shrine.
Yeah, and this is surprising. I expected Squirtle to be able to see it, but not with his Mothership Core, with his Oracle. So what does he do now, Squirtle? He has an Oracle. Does he go home and make sure he can defend on time against the DTs with his Oracle, or does he make another one? It looks like he wants to make another one. He's blocked his ramp as well. This is so smart here. He's getting a pylon there. This is going to buy him enough time for this Oracle to come out and help defend. And Grubby, okay, he has Stalkers in position. It's not going to be a disastrous loss. He goes for an expansion. He recognizes that this is not going to happen here. He goes for an expansion, and this is, I mean, this is a quite late expansion compared to what, for example, Deer will do, but this is a little bit of what Deer and SOS like to do, I think, in PvP, where you get Blink behind this, you add extra gateways, and you pressure your opponent.
Yeah, and it's definitely what he's up to. We got one. There's the real. Wow, that's reaction time from Squirtle.
Squirtle is so good.
Wow, I got shivers from that a little bit, man. That was amazing.
Chills.
Yeah, nerd chills.
Third gateway, maybe a fourth gateway down for Grubby.
Yeah.
Okay, no, a forge.
Okay. All right, so he's going to be getting his upgrades pretty shortly. Also going to get static defense for the Oracles as well. A little bit annoying to have to deal with them all game.
Yeah, I guess you have to get detection here if you're Grubby, and I don't think he wants to be forced into making a robo, knowing there already is a Stargate against him. So he's going to get the forge. He could start +1. He could get some cannons in his mirror lines so that he does not need to come back with a lot of Stalker against the Oracle he's up against. Has to be careful. I'm surprised Squirtle didn't go for at least 1 or 2 kills, considering that was
one
just
in the main
Stalkers.
here, but it's actually out of energy because it was detecting.
A fake.
Fake Oracle. The Jukes. Squirtle really playing these mind games.
Yeah, and Squirtle now going for his own forge. He's actually got the supply lead. He's getting some Immortals out. So he's anticipating the Blink being researched at this point, and he's going to do quite all right, I think. With the supply lead that he has, he's in a good position. He's in the driver's seat right now. He's for Grubby to make something happen, to be able to catch up. And I can't believe that Mothership Core is poking in right now. He's going to go for another recall. He wants to know if he's up against Colossus or Twilight Council. Actually, he's just going to get out of here.
He sees the Immortal, though, which is nice.
The Stalkers?
Oh, it does shoot the Mothership Core down.
Very unfortunate. He even had energy for both recall or a Photon Overcharge, which, I mean, is always going to help when you get attacked. Oh, look at the Oracle.
I like the path of this Oracle here. Just going to get the Revelation down there. You can see everything in the main here.
I can see you.
Yeah, he can.
You can actually see the entire main base here. He sees the Forge. He sees, did you see the Templar Archive? Okay, he didn't reveal it, but it's close enough to the assimilator that he can see it. So Squirtle knows exactly where he's at in this game. And he's getting the Robo Bay. So it's going to be Zealot, Archon, Immortal. Well, actually, no, Zealot, Archon, since there is no Robo for Grubby. Against Colossus play. And this is much better for Squirtle at this point. With the lead that he has, he's able to pull this off. Grubby, he really is going to have to do something very special to be able to win this, I feel. Something like a timing attack that surprises Squirtle, something like a War Prism in the main, like we saw Fizz do when it was looking so bad for him.
Yeah.
The thing is, you need a third base, and it hasn't started for Grubby. I really think you need a third base to be able to make this work. Look at how many gateways Grubby threw down. I think he has to go for timing with this.
Okay,
he's
so
wiping sentries. Why?
Well, they're not going to help him too much against Colossus, that's for sure. All right, so Grubby is up to something. We're not sure just yet. Well, I mean, he's dropped a bunch of gateways, so he's obviously going to be very, very aggressive. We'll see how that pans out, but Todd thinks he should be taking a third Nexus. Grubby decides otherwise, wants to make units instead. Feedback on that Oracle, it's a little bit of something. Oracle does have to leave, though. It's quite useless without energy.
And, I mean, with the Colossus on the way here, Grubby should definitely look to punish. I mean, Squirtle, his army is very strong already. He's got 3 Immortals, he's getting Colossus out. But he doesn't have any Archons, he doesn't have anything really to tank. And if Grubby forces him to fight in multiple places, Squirtle could fall apart like it happened before versus Fist.
Oh, very, very likely getting oversaturated here. Squirtle getting up that third as well. 20 workers on the minerals, that natural there for Squirtle. And a bit of a worker supply lead for him as well.
Actually, I think it might have been Fizz versus San, in which the game on Yonsu where Fist won with the War Prism in the main. Grubby adding extra gateways now. The thing is, Grubby still doesn't have a Robo. I can't believe he's played this long without a Robo. You need a Robo, man. Gates are nice, but you need something to help with this. And he actually doesn't have any detection still. He has a force so that he could throw down cannons. And he's consistently scouting with hallucinated Phoenixes. Oh, actually, Squirtle. Squirtle's building placement in the main is going to get him some probes stuck here.
Squirtle's observer just sees that third Nexus of Grubby, and yeah, he's got a couple of probes stuck there. Looking like he's going to nearly lose that Oracle.
Yeah, I think Squirtle realized that there is no detection from Grubby, and he's actually got a probe in his main. Not a probe, an observer. Getting a perfect scout on everything. Oh, he's going to see the target!
Oh.
Star just below, and Grubby has to see that something's up here. I'm surprised he doesn't throw down a cannon.
Yeah, no.
What is your plan, Grubby? I think he might go for Tempest, actually. Which is another Baby Knight-esque move at this point. We've seen Baby Knight be successful with 1 Stargate Tempest versus some early Colossus. So in this game, Grubby, if he goes for Tempest to try and counter this, he would have a shot. I feel like if he just masters gateway units, there's no way he's going to win against Colossus heavy army.
There's a thing that Grubby does have in his favor, and that is he's got +3 on the way halfway through, and Squirtle's just starting +2. So he's going to have the upgrade advantage.
Done a very good job with this chrono boost here. Squirtle's seeing this target. Surely he has to know what this is for.
Oh, Oracle in here getting some free damage on that third.
Yeah. And Squirtle could adapt very well to this.
And a Templar as well. Big snipe here from this Oracle. More probes as well. No, he got killed before he fed back.
Squirtle seeing this is big. As I was saying, he could just stop making Colossi after 2 or 3 or 4.
That's so frustrating.
And then go for a huge timing with like a lot of Archons and Zealot in reinforcement, and it's just basically reinforced with Zealot and Archons.
Grubby's army getting caught a little bit here by the Colossus. Squirtle also going for a Warp Prism drop in the main. In the meantime, Grubby on top of it though, warping in some Zealots to deal with that.
Oh man, that one Oracle is frustrating indeed. Grubby is actually getting a Void Ray out right now. He might be able to pick it up. Oh, this army, is it stuck? Squirtle's trying to get the lock on it, and he's gonna be able to get it. Grubby, he has to take the fight at this point, but he's not gonna trade cost effectively. He's hiding in a corner. That's not gonna work.
No,
Squirtle saw you, he's not going anywhere.
This is actually even worse for Grubby because his army's sort of threading between the minerals here, and Squirtle's just gonna pick it up one by one. He's desperately trying to save the Archons in that fight, but in the meantime, Squirtle killed all the probes at the third, and GG! Wow, what a series from Squirtle, showing his dominance in this matchup. 2-1 from him, and unfortunately for the crowd favorite Grubby, he does have to go home.
Yeah, really sad here obviously, but Squirtle, as I said here, he was in the driver's seat and he did not ever let go of it, did not make any big enough mistakes to allow Grubby to come back, and I mean, very well done. The Warp Prism in the main, the way he noticed the army was outside of his base, there was no Mothership Core there, he went for it, he cornered that army, and then from there, I mean, Grubby was already behind. He fell way more behind. He knew he couldn't recover from there. Pretty cool PvP we just saw here.
Pretty solid PvP series in general from both players there. Grubby not going through there for the fans, but that's okay because Squirtle definitely deserved to win that series. He was the better player on the day, did everything right, especially in that third game. Read Grubby like a book with really big print.
That means we're going to have what would have been a team kill a while back when Squirtle was still on StarTale. Now he's playing for IEM. Squirtle versus Hack.
Yeah, Squirtle Hack. It's going to be a PVT to write home about.
Squirtle has some mean PVT. I cannot wait to see this game.
If you miss that, you're just silly. You're just straight up ridiculous. You have to stay and watch this.
I'm not going to miss it. I'm probably going to cast it too.
Very, very likely. I'm definitely going to cast it. So guys, if you're enjoying the cast, don't go away. Squirtle versus Hack coming up next at the Intel Extreme Masters in Singapore.